to be on record.
Sweet. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it.
That's your last chance.
Okay.
It's all over from here. Oh, yeah. All right. So and it automatically pulls up the live stream on my other window here. And so now I have like a 12-second delay. All right. So I'm going to turn that off. Got there. Welcome, everybody. We're still getting set up. I just need to let everybody else in the world who's not listening know that we are live. If I can find the right YouTube on my phone. Why isn't it showing me? Oh, there it is. One watching, I think it automatically pulls up the live stream on my phone and then turns on the volume without me. Patience, if anybody else is online yet. As we share out to the world, we're going to talk the 2023 Sequoia for a little while this evening. So that should be fun. I've got TRD Jon with me.
How's it going, everyone?
Good to see you. And yeah, do that next. Just bear with me. I'm sharing out that we're live. If I could type. And it's, tctmag.us/videos is our YouTube. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit this, and then I'll just do a quick double check to make sure all that comes through, and then we can actually start talking about the new Sequoia. In the meantime, I've got the Toyota video, which actually tells you a lot about what they've released for this truck.
Yeah,
walk through that anyway.
Their videos have actually been really on point lately, especially some of the Tundra stuff too that they released.
Yeah, they're starting to dial it in. And I actually emailed Toyota. I was like, hey, that launch video that we saw when we were at the event, could you share that? And then I went and looked again on YouTube, and I was like, never mind, there it is.
Yeah.
So we're good. All right, so that showed up there, and then I'm gonna just hit this one more time to make sure that it's showing that we are live. All right. We'll see how that goes. Again, welcome if anybody's joining us, and if you're watching this post recording, but we are live. We're going to walk through and talk through the 2023 Sequoia. We've gotten from the TCT magazine side more response than anything that we've ever done in our 14 years for this launch. So clearly the world is excited about it. We are beyond excited about it. And joining me is YouTube sensation TRD Jon, who I met at the event and did a great job. I actually just rewatched a couple of your videos earlier talking about the new Sequoia. So they took us to, we went out to California for the Tundra capstone event, which was great.
Right, it was awesome.
Really, like the jewel really was this Sequoia.
Oh yeah.
And so welcome, Jon.
Thanks Shane for having me, man. This is awesome to be on, and it's so crazy that we just met each other last week, and now here we are online talking about this thing together. It's pretty cool.
You know, I wasn't super familiar with your channel before this, but I've caught up over the last week, and I've got to say there's a ton of YouTube people out there, but I think that you are a Toyota enthusiast in the same manner that everybody that works for TCT is. And that, man, we just love our Toyotas, and we just enjoy everything about the reliability, about you literally can take them all over the world.
Right.
You know, we've been doing this for 14 years. We've been doing it, and so it's great to have, and also a Air Force veteran as well. So thank you for your service. And
thank you. Appreciate it.
Sometimes things just gel, and you're in Florida. I just moved to Florida.
It was meant to be.
It's just like a win-win. So yeah, good. So if you aren't familiar with Jon's site or YouTube, which you probably are, this is it. Hopefully that's coming through, and you can hit his channel and subscribe and check out. I'm still not through probably a 30 of your videos, but I'm getting caught up binging a little bit. All good.
But I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely mostly Toyota videos. I don't think I did anything not Toyota yet. So that's pretty much all it is.
Why not? Why do
it
anything but
works.
Toyota?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to start. So just so everybody knows, we're just going to kind of BS for a little while and just talk about, because we both were at the launch event, saw the reveal, saw all the people running up to try to get their very first photos of the new Sequoia. And when the realization kind of hit that, no, this is built on the Land Cruiser Tundra LX platform. This is Toyota's
the F
new
platform. Yep.
The F platform, the TJF, right? The global architecture F platform that, as far as we know, is going to underpin all of the body on frame trucks and SUVs going forward in some way.
Right.
So for me, when that realization hit that, okay, this is not the Sequoia with the IFS, which was fine, but not Land Cruiser, not Toyota or Tundra strength.
Right.
For me, when that hit, I was like, okay, this actually could be something special. And then we actually saw the truck. Right?
Yeah.
We saw the photos.
It was
we
nice.
saw the truck hands on.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Right. There's no such thing as a perfect truck for everybody. All the things that kept my family away from going Sequoia in previous generations are basically now gone.
Oh, really?
For those that know TCT, we've had 3 Tundras, 2 FJs, a bunch of 4Runners. We're on our 3rd GX. So we're on our 3rd GX or 2nd GX 460, our 3rd GX. And we've always loved the GX because it's just a little more space than the 4Runner.
Right. Taller cabin too.
A little taller, a little more power, obviously.
The V8.
All of those things, right? All of those things I feel like are going to be met for us with the Sequoia. So if you are on this stream and you're not a fanboy, then I don't know if you're going to want to continue watching. Because
we'll just talk all Toyota products. Yeah.
Toyota stuff, right? Tell me, I'll talk too much if I don't shut up. Tell me your first impressions when you saw it last week.
I really liked the front end. It was very, very nice. And it stinks that I admit to the comments, as some people say, that front end looks better than the Tundra, just because I'm finally getting my Tundra in a day or two, my 2022. But yeah, they absolutely killed it with the front end. The rear end looks kind of similar. Yeah, there's a little bit of the front end right there. You just have that classic new Toyota grille that they're really going with. Obviously the Tundra lights, so it looks masculine. It looks like a bigger SUV because of the new Tundra lights. But then that lower part of it just really looks kind of like RAV4 and like Highlander. They mashed a bunch of Toyota vehicles together, but it's still its own. Like you can tell that is a Sequoia front end now, and I really, really like the look of the front of that truck.
And I'm sure you've seen the comments like I have. Oh, can't wait to start swapping Sequoia front ends for my Tundra front end.
Well, in last generation, it was the complete opposite. The second, the second and 2.5 gen for Sequoia was always getting Tundra swapped the front end, but now it's the complete opposite, which is crazy. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
There's the one. And for me, I'm not a fan of chrome, as a lot of people that in the off-roady type, overlandy type world are huge chrome fans. So yeah, the TRD Pro, as soon as I laid eyes on that, color matched grille surround just to bring it in just a little tighter. Yeah, that's money. All right. We can just look at pictures all night, but maybe.
I can't wait to see that big old SUV though, in that solar octane. Did you drive you were on the off-road course, right? You drove the solar octane.
Drove the solar octane Tundra.
Yeah. So that
was good.
That is very, very bright of a color. So I can't wait to see that on the SUV. Absolutely.
Okay. I want to cover just real quick the things that we don't know, because we've all seen it in the comments. Everybody's wondering. So I'm just going to run through this list and we can chat about it. The exact dimensions. How does it compare to the outgoing Sequoia? How does it compare to XYZ?
Right.
Other vehicle, as far as will it fit in my garage? All those things.
Right.
Obviously, it's shorter than the Tundra because it's an SUV. But beyond that, we don't know any exact dimensions. We don't know how long it is, how wide it is. You can go to your Toyota dealer if you can find one and go look at the new Tundra. Look at the first 2 doors.
Yeah,
And
basically.
you're
Yeah,
good there.
and we don't know pricing. We don't know MPGs yet.
Right.
I mean, if you want to try to be a detective, look at current Sequoia prices and multiply that by how the Tundra has kind of gone up in price too. But then again, we don't know
That'll
the
probably
price
give you
of,
a decent idea.
yeah. And then, embargo for hybrids hasn't been lifted yet. So, I mean, add
Right.
hybrid on because this is only hybrid.
This
So
is
I'm curious.
only hybrid. So that's
Yeah.
an important point.
Right.
This truck is only hybrid. So you're not getting the V6 twin turbo, which means you do have batteries. So
Mhm.
between the batteries and the rear axle, that's why you don't get the full flat seats that you may have wanted. Like,
yeah, and I messed that up on my video actually, because I was under the understanding that the batteries were only under the second row and that the seats couldn't fold flat because of the rear axle. Because that's what I was told. Toyota events, a lot of information all over the place, it seems like.
Right.
But then you go on the LX 600 that has the same exact rear end and platform, and those rear seats do fold flat. So I did mess that up on my video. So I'm curious because the Tundra has the batteries just under the rear seat. I'm curious if this has a bigger battery pack than the Tundra, maybe more.
Be interesting.
Yeah, because it encroaches into the back seats. I'm not sure though. We'll see.
Yeah, and
Time will
unfortunately,
tell.
they wouldn't let us. They wouldn't let us put the trucks up on a lift and climb
I know. And let us tear it apart real quick.
But don't worry, that's coming. We'll get there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So also the GVWR. So we know that it has a 9,000 pound tow rating. I assume that's for a 2-wheel drive SR5.
Yeah, they actually said 9,500 after the meeting that we were, or the reveal that we were all in for some reason.
Yeah.
They got that number late. So yeah, 2-wheel drive SR5 for some reason. I mean, again, that number may be skewed, but they are advertising 9,000 all over the place. So not sure how accurate.
So again, and that's still a pretty good increase over the outgoing model. That's more than my V8 GX 460 sitting in my driveway.
Oh, wow.
This will tow more than that. So again, all the reasons that I went to the V8 GX are quickly disappearing with the new Sequoia. So there's that. Other things we don't know. You already said MPGs. We don't know the exact package offerings. What will go with what? We don't know. I've seen comments. Well, can I get this exterior with this interior? We don't know yet. We don't know all of that. This is early, and we should say that what we saw were early prototypes.
Very early
production models. These are not. This was not a drive event for us. So
yeah, because we're still,
we can't get the details.
What, 6-7 months away? I mean, they said summer of this year, so I mean, summer encroaches into September. So we could be a ways away.
Yeah, we're probably going to get through an entire north. And I have to say this now that I live in Florida, we have to get through an entire northern wheeling season.
Yeah,
wheeling right now down here, but
it's
not as exciting as Colorado. So we're probably going to get through the whole Colorado season before we're going to see these in production. So, so just things to think about. Okay, good. Enough looking at that one. Let's look at. Oh, now I should have labeled these. I think we've seen enough of the TRD Pro. I have a few photos of the Limited that we can just take a look and see the stylings.
That color,
the Limited. You like that? That's that blue.
The blueprint
blue, right?
Yep. Yeah, I love that color.
Right. And see, I'm more of a. Well, what color Tundra are you getting?
It's white. I wanted a blueprint one. But it was just kind of, hey, this is what's coming in. Do you want it? Yes. Yeah, 100%. So.
See, I'm a huge fan of the Lunar in the Tundra. So
yes. Yeah. Lunar Rock is
what shows up.
Gorgeous color. So on this photo right here, some people were saying on the Tundra, it's kind of the same. It has that carpet look above the tire in the wheel well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't really liking that because for mud purposes, it's very hard to clean. But since obviously we're more off-road focused on this, but people are into it for Sequoia stuff too. But anyways, I digress. Westcott Designs, they were showing how to fit 37s on the new Tundra. And it is very cool with this carpet mesh wheel well thing that you just unpin it and you can move the whole thing back versus plastic in the past that you really had to melt and mold and everything. So that's, I'm curious if obviously it's for sound deadening too, but Toyota may be really seeing the off-road community now, and all you have to do is just move
Just kind
some
of setting
fabric.
it up for some
Right.
mods. Yeah. Gotcha.
But I do like those wheels.
And then we get into a video, which will be choppy on our stream. So
Right.
yeah, the limited trim I think is it's solid. Again, color matched for me versus chrome is always going to be a win.
Right.
So
it does seem like the Sequoia has toned down the chrome a lot. For some reason on Tundra, I feel like they really went all out with the chrome. But I mean, even in this limited platform, it looks like a little bit darker of chrome, unless it's just the angle of photos, but it doesn't look over flashy. I even noticed that with the capstone there too, versus the Tundra capstone that we were also able to look at. Not that much chrome, so it's still there.
Capstone. Take a peek at some of these. Yeah, I agree. It's not quite as chromy and flashy.
Right.
And I mean, we saw that we had hands-on the capstone as well, and that was that's a good looking rig.
Yeah, it's definitely
the capstones
premium
for the stuff that we do. Yeah, it's never going to be something we're going to spend a ton of time doing. But let's see. I'm just checking, make sure this is all working. All right, it's still making sure my
still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
So what do you think about that rear end? Like with the window not rolling down?
I don't have the love for the window rolling down that that's the exact same pop-up all three of my GXs have had.
Oh, okay.
So on the GX platform, we're used to that. So for me, it's not as big of a deal.
Okay.
That being said, on two of the three Tundras that I've had the roll down window.
Right.
And I owned each of them about 2 years, and I used it about 4 times per truck. So,
okay.
I know some people really love that feature.
Right.
And again, that's just when you move to the different platform that has, and that's the thing, this Sequoia is the most capable as far as going off pavement than any Sequoia that has ever been built. It is, I'm going to say it's kind of the North American version of the Land Cruiser. Since we don't get Land Cruiser 300, this is as close as we're going to get, unless you drop coin on the LX, which is obviously.
And I did, I guess to some people, clickbait a video, right? I said new Land Cruiser as a picture of the Sequoia, but 100% for us, at least, it is our new quote unquote Land Cruiser, because we're not getting the LC 300 here, at least as of now, or what they get overseas. I mean, that variant of it, we're not.
So this, if you're in the GX world at all, this is a huge thing. There's a big GX off-road GXOR community. Shout out to Dan for running that. And everywhere else in the world, the Lexus GX is a Land Cruiser Prado. So it's a Land Cruiser, but it's the smaller Land Cruiser Prado. It's always been that way. It's been the GX here. And so about every month or so, somebody will go on one of the groups and say, so my GX is pretty much a Land Cruiser, right? And then that just throws all the Land Cruiser people just forget about it.
Right.
So I've already started joking when I shared it on TLCA's page. I even said they couldn't fit America's Land Cruiser on the back of the car, so they just made it Sequoia.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and they did it with big, bold letters too. I really wish for some reason they didn't put it all at the bottom. It would fit to me perfectly right above the license plate on that little
on the chrome,
tab.
Kind of the old style.
It's kind of a little.
I agree.
Over letter flashy.
Yeah, I don't love that, but those are stick-on letters. They're easy enough to remove. And
that is true. Just move them up there yourself.
On there. So, so you're good. So I mean, it is. You're absolutely right. It's as close as you're going to get to a Land Cruiser. Mm-hmm. It is on the same platform as a Land Cruiser. It's using the same drivetrain, the same
I mean, and for those, obviously that were into off-roading and could afford it, they would buy a Land Cruiser, like a 2021, the last year for them here. And I mean, they're expensive,
right?
Yeah, the 200 series, and they were $90,000 vehicles, brand new. So the people that bought them are, more wealthy people, but want to be kind of low key wealthy. But inside that capstone, to me, even though it's not a Land Cruiser, it's not made in Japan, it does have some flaws to purists, I guess, of a Land Cruiser. But if you're looking for straight money to luxury, I have a good feeling that capstone Sequoia will come in under $90,000, and you get so much more inside of that thing than you did in the outgoing 200 series Land Cruiser, in my opinion. People may hate me.
Absolutely agree. And I can't wait to have a TRD Pro or even a capstone if we go there and throw it next to a late model 200 series Land Cruiser and just kind of compare and contrast. Because the reality is this, I mean, that's why I pulled up the TRD Pro. If you want to go exploring and you want to drive across the country or across the continent, obviously it's a brand new platform, so I wouldn't take it off the lot and try to drive to South America.
Right.
But
maybe get a couple thousand miles in it first, make sure the wastegate issue and everything's okay.
But it's the roof rack, right? So if you think about all your overlandy things that all the overlandy people are going to put on, Max Tracks will bolt up to this thing perfectly.
Yeah, it was very cool up there. Like a lot of nice little tie down spots and everything. Did you physically get up there to look at the roof rack?
I did. I haven't. I should have thrown. I have like 7 non-stock photos of this.
Gotcha.
Drop those to my computer real quick. Maybe I can grab them. But yeah, like this is pretty well set up to be able. Let me see if I can find those pictures. To be able to actually take off road and go and do fun things.
Right.
And let's see. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna show that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just like you're saying, super capable. I mean, maybe to those that want to put bigger tires on right away, go ahead. I mean, the only reason Toyota put smaller tires on there, it's literally to chase miles per gallon in the segment. But I mean, just bigger tires, and it's perfectly fine for anything you want to throw at it off road.
We were actually talking with Scott Brady from Overland Journal was there at the event with us. And that's pretty much what we all agreed. We could take it to your closest tire shop, throw 33s, 30, whatever on there and put it on dirt and see how far you go and see what happens. Like, I feel like it'll do what we need to do. All right, let's see what I've got here. All right, so now I have just a few. These are a few that I took at the event. So there's the dual exhaust, which I really like the way that they brought both of those out the side there. And they're still tucked up high enough, especially on the TRD Pro, that you're probably not going to drag them all over stuff.
And I agree with that. And I like that on this truck. They put it up into the bumper instead of like the Tundra again, where it's out the side, which isn't that big of an issue. But I know on the rock course that we were driving on out there, I know we were coming close to smacking the exhaust tips on some of the rocks as we were coming down off the rocks. So this is nice because, I mean, you can even tell on the right-hand side of that bumper too, how it comes down for your departure angle and stuff. So they did tuck it in there pretty well.
It is tucked. All right, let's see. I don't even know what pictures these are. So there's your fun little Sequoia TRD Pro mats with the tire track in them. So that's exciting.
Yeah, the aluminum pedals too. There's the rack.
So you can see there's, like you said, there's a couple tie down points. I mean, you could drop a 10 on that pretty easily.
Probably
down and good to go.
Yeah, and the cool thing too, the way it looked like it attached. It looked like it just bolted in and snapped right into the stock roof rails, which was pretty nice. So that's cool too. If you're not able to afford the TRD Pro, there are TRD off-roads now for this new Sequoia. And it basically, guys, just think of Tundra as Sequoia with everything underneath the Tundra. The Sequoia also gets, so for a TRD off-road model, multi-terrain select, the crawl control, the rear locking diff. So so I mean, basically, if you can't afford the Mac Daddy TRD Pro price and you don't care about the special edition color, you just build your own based off an SR5 with minimal upgrades in it and throw this roof rack on too, if you like the Toyota OEM roof rack.
That's a very good point. So as you said, if you go TRD off-road package, you get the locker, you get all of the bells and whistles, all those things, just like you would on a Tundra. The other thing that just occurred to me, which is it's obvious, is suspension upgrades that are already being worked on for the Tundra.
Yes.
That bolt right in to the Sequoia.
Yep.
So
Yeah, hopefully
Toyotech,
if they're the same.
Toyotech
Yeah.
3-inch lift kit, 2-inch lift kit on the Tundra should bolt right in, or they'll do very minimal. Like they might change the spring rate a little bit based off of
Right.
a truck bed versus SUV,
Yes.
but components
Hmm.
should bolt right in. And so we would expect by the time that this truck gets to market, we would expect that you'll have suspension upgrades. So yeah, so for a lot of us, we won't go TRD Pro. We'll go, although I really like the looks of it, but
Yeah, it
we'll
does
go
look pretty good.
SR5.
Yeah.
Yeah, SR5 with TRD off road, and then add all of our aftermarket things. And
Right.
you know, in our world, in the TCT world, we kind of deal with aftermarket, and that's half of what we do is talk about the upgrades and the bolt-ons and the things you can do yourself.
Right.
And it does seem like they've set this platform up to be able to support as much aftermarket upgrades as you need to do. So,
yeah, and that's perfect that you say that that they set this market up for that, because the launch of the Tundra, and now you have 6 to 8 months basically, or I'm sorry, yeah, 8-ish months till September. Especially if the whole underneath is the same. If RCI, C4, anyone like that comes out with underbelly protection, 9 times out of 10, it may just bolt right up to this, unless some stuff is moved around. We don't know yet because we haven't seen really the undercarriage.
There could be a couple of
or sliders too. Maybe just the front half is fine because it bolts up to the same part of the frame, and they just need to work on the rear half because it is a little bit shorter. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome platform. And then with that too, the next gen 4Runner in Tacoma, obviously they're going to be a bit different than this, but those are rumored also.
Frame size may be a little different. Yeah.
Those are rumored also, I believe, to be on the same platform. Obviously, they're not going to be as big because cross members will be smaller, but it may be a very universal platform that would make aftermarket companies so happy. That would be so cool.
That would be real nice.
Like, the Legos of the overland community. It'd be really easy.
Fun little shot of the badging. There it is.
Yeah, live axle back there.
You saw me, the first thing that I did when I ran over there. And we're like, it's a nice event. We're having dinner. And I'm like, I'm crawling under there. I got to get a picture of that axle.
Yeah. We're at the winery and everyone's in nice clothes and everything. And Shane's like, oh, I'm getting down there. Yep.
Got to get it. Yeah. So that's it. There's the solid axle on the Sequoia.
Yeah. So full-time 4-wheel drive gone. It's a part-time system. They did that for MPGs. They did it for towing when we talked to Mike Swears about that. And I mean, I do kind of agree with him. It does stink for those that live up in a northern climate where having that all-wheel drive system in the snow is nice. But I mean, he says, you know, these trucks will go 85 miles an hour in 4-wheel high, no problem. So it's kind of the same. I've never really understood full-time 4-wheel drive, honestly. When you could just put in 4 high when you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I've been in California, Arizona, and Florida. So
we lived in Colorado for 25 years.
Right.
We bought every Toyota that we have pretty much in Colorado that we've had. So our second FJ was the manual, which was full-time. And then our 3GXs are full-time. So for me, I prefer to have part-time, and then I select it when I need to. For other drivers in my family, it's just easier to not have to think about it when you're in those climates. So,
gotcha.
So I definitely see the appeal of it, but you know, you just get to this checks and balances, and you have to give up some things to get other things.
Right.
And I can't imagine there is anybody will watch this that will say, no, I'd rather have full-time 4-wheel drive and IFS and fold down seats instead of a rear locker and all of that capability that comes along with this and the Land Cruiser platform. So
straight from the factory. Right.
Straight from the factory. You get the TRD Pro, you put tires on it. Everything's factory back. You never have to worry about never have to worry about it again.
And I'm curious too, talking factory backed, if you know, the TRD lift kit that they have for the Tundra coming out, ironically, in the summertime, I think of this year. I'm curious if they'll put that on that. So then you have, for those that love the OEM Toyota everything, then you have, you know, warranted 3-inch
suspension.
3-inch lift kit. So be interesting.
Absolutely. I'm sure that will all bolt up, or there'll be a version maybe at worst case. I think that will bolt up and work out just fine. I
Mhm.
want to make sure I had a whole list of things to make sure we cover. I think we
Oh yeah,
covered them. We
sorry,
talked about sliders.
because I could
No,
start
no, we're
talking.
good. Let me just see if I have any other cool pictures. So there's a live shot that I got. You see some people doing some filming and photo taking. You're probably behind the truck.
Technical
shot.
camo on the back too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That same again, like you said,
Yeah.
take what we know about the Tundra, carry it over with slight modifications to the Sequoia, and
Right.
that's what you have.
Right.
And this one had the Falcon Wild Peaks, which is currently my favorite tire.
Yeah, the 285, 65, 18s, I think. So very close to like the true 33. Very close.
Exactly. So, and then I have one more picture that I grabbed, just a fun little shot of the capstone that they had sitting there. So you see the wine barrels there. So, yeah, we answered all the questions that I needed to. I was hoping we would have some questions, but the live stream's not getting a ton of love right now. So no questions on there right now.
Okay.
But I'm going to just look on the other socials real quick and see if we have any questions that we can answer for anybody. No, just let's go. That's all they're saying. So that's ready. I want to like and I do need to say that on our Facebook page for TCT Magazine, our coverage of this reached like over 4 million people, which is more than we've ever seen.
It's absolutely crazy.
I lost track of being able to keep track of the comments. Basically, everybody just wants to order it now. They want to have it delivered next week if they could.
Right.
And and then tons of questions about the cost. I just need to say it again. We don't know what the MSRP for any of the Sequoia trims will be. They just haven't released it yet. We expect it'll be similar in a similar range that the Tundra is. Oops, I was going to try to hit the limited. So, let's look at some of the interior. The interior is hard to go through because it's basically the Tundra interior.
Yeah, and I was trying really hard to look forward on that dash to see if anything was different, and it looks exactly like the Tundra. I'm gonna reshare us live with the actual link to my Instagram to see if we can get some more peeps in here that want to know about this. Now that I have the actual link.
I just saw another comment. I wish the Tundra had that grill.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it is nice to differentiate them, and the Tundra, people are going to be putting full bumpers on. Like C4 already has a bumper for that truck.
The Tundra, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks really good. So
there's, we can talk about this real quick. There's the limited second row bench. So this would be the 8-passenger configuration. And then
that is true, because we didn't unfortunately get that when we were there, huh?
Right, we didn't get to see that. Yeah. So there's third row bench, or second row bench and third row bench.
I don't know in the second row. I couldn't find it out. Again, guys, we only had, we had ample time at the winery, but there were over 100 creators there. So 100 creators with 2 hours, not that long. And then we only had a 30-minute time slot, you and one other person the next morning. And that's 15 minutes because there was only 2 Sequoias there. So, but anyways, I didn't tell if the middle seat, which actually I don't think it did, because you can see the way it latches in. The middle seat, because the way you flip that little the handle right there, the middle seat doesn't recline or do anything. Only the back seat, the middle seat reclines, but it doesn't scoot like forward, back and forth, like it doesn't roll forward or backwards. So
it'll be attached to this seat. Whatever this seat does is what the middle seat will do.
Right. So it's pretty fixed. The back seat rolls, which is nice. So if you need more leg room in the back seat, if you want to go to that picture real quick, you guys could see the little handles in the middle of it. So that's actually cool to give the back passenger, if you guys don't have cargo or anything, you can get actually a decent amount of room in the back seats.
Right. Yep.
felt like that was a lot of talking to say that you don't have that
No,
much.
that's no good.
They
And
don't slide.
So this is with all the seats folded with the shelf in kind of max storage position. They would not let us lay down in this to see how well we would fit if we decided to sleep in the Sequoia this way. But you can kind of see like you could turn that into a bed if you needed to, or at least on half of it.
Yeah.
So
that little that shelf system in the back is pretty cool. I mean, again, they did as much as they could to give you a flat surface. Again, I think it's because there's some batteries up under there, like they were saying,
right.
in conjunction too with the axle. But yeah, it's just, they at least just said, hey, this isn't all you get back here. So they allowed it to go flat. And then you can see on the right and left-hand side of the, what would that technically be? A D pillar? Is that the D pillar? Like in the back, you have all those, you have all those notches to the level that you could put that back shelf to make it flat, or
raise that
right
all the way down.
Yeah, and all the way down to the very bottom too.
Yeah.
And then you could store it down there.
So that's helpful. That gives you extra storage that otherwise you wouldn't have. So
right. And I did have some people ask too, a lot of people actually, if the rear seats were removable. And unfortunately, the only two that were there had automatic rear folding seats. So I feel like that would be a little hard to disconnect everything. I mean, everything's removable in a car if you really want to. It's just how,
want to enough.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's just how easily are they?
Yeah, yeah, and that'll be I'm sure as soon as these start hitting the street, there will be YouTube videos of people taking everything out that they can, and you know, I know people that took all the seats out of their GXs and FJ Cruisers because it's just two people and they wanted max cargo and all those things. So you're absolutely right. If you want to bad enough, you'll be able to. I'm probably not going to take the seats out the first day.
Right. Yeah, no.
Good. All right. Let's see what else we have here. We've already seen that. I think these are all. Oh, let me go to interior just to see if we have any that we missed.
That's that lighting is so cool.
It is, and it is only blue as far as we can tell. There's no, again, you got to leave something for the 2024 model year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and some of the things that people wish that the truck had right away. I mean, car manufacturers, every single car manufacturer doesn't give you everything right away, because if you buy it right away, they got to get you 3-4 more years later to buy the next one with the feature that you wanted, basically. So it's just business. There's the captain's chairs.
Captain's chairs, which I think are really cool. And that, you know, before we bought our first GX, my wife really wanted an SUV with captain's chairs when our kids were really little. And the Sequoia was an option, but it didn't meet our needs because of capability. And so we went GX, and that's something that we've always missed. So that'll be exciting to have that. Cool. And then you see the same double pano sunroof that you get in Tundra.
Yeah, so I did sit in that capstone in that back seat, and I'm only 5'11", and I didn't see a way for the seat to kind of lower itself or raise itself up, and I only maybe had like an inch of headroom in the back. Obviously, I could recline it if I wanted to, but I think because of that pano moonroof, again, it's a prototype. They may fix this in 8 months, but everything just gets stuffed up into that area, like the shade and everything. So not that much headroom.
Yeah, that's, again, anytime you go big sunroofs and all those things, you're going to give up a little bit of headroom. I know a lot of people that are taller, that won't go any sunroof in any vehicle. So
especially in the Tacoma too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you get a 6'2" guy. He's like, I really want a Tacoma, but there's a moonroof in it. I was like, bro, you're too big for the truck in the first place. Like, Tacoma's a small truck. Yeah,
it is. That's one of we've only never owned a Land Cruiser and Tacoma are the only two, because we can't afford a Land Cruiser, and the Tacoma's always been too small.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm just going through these. So there's, again, third row. This is, you can see the third row with the captain's chair up. So for those that say that's the one thing that we didn't cover. There's not, as far as right now that we know of, there's not an XL version of this truck.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an Expedition or a Suburban killer, this is not it. And Toyota
Right.
has said as much. Like they're not trying to be the everything vehicle for everybody that'll ever want it.
Right.
If you need to carry 7 people and all their soccer gear and drive across country, you're going to need a trailer or,
Right. Yeah,
or a
unfortunately.
box on top.
Yeah.
That's
So
just, yeah.
right.
Right.
I had some time with Mike Swears too, and I asked him when we were at the off-road course, like, hey, why no XL version of this? And he said it is definitely on their mind, but just because of COVID and all that stuff right now of just trying to get the Tundra out. They've already slashed production because of the plant, but trying to launch a new
Right.
vehicle and then 2 models of the new vehicle, it just wasn't in the cards. So it's definitely on their radar because they see the customer demanding it. Just
Yeah.
like you said, you've gotten tons of comments. I got tons of comments, but it's on their radar. But it's just at launch, it's very hard to do, I guess they were saying.
So whenever you're watching this, whenever you're hearing this, go on the platforms and comment on things. Toyota watches
Oh,
what the
yes,
enthusiasts say.
100%.
So comment away, be kind, if you will, but
Mhm.
comment away and let us know and let Toyota know what your preferences are.
Mhm.
And they always take that into account. You can almost say, I mean, how many years did they ask for a locker on the Tundra? And then boom, locker shows
Yeah.
up with the Tundra.
Right.
How
Right.
many years did they ask for same on Sequoia? How
Mhm.
many years did they ask for a diesel? Well, they didn't get a diesel,
Right.
but in many ways, especially if you talk to Toyota and it's their job to sell trucks,
Mhm.
in many ways, the hybrid powertrain is superior to a diesel.
Yeah.
It's more efficient. It's more power when you need it. It
Yeah.
is faster.
Super
And
low end torque too,
super
just
low
like a
end torque.
diesel. Yeah, because Mike was saying that too. The number one engine when they were developing the 3rd gen Tundra, he immediately wanted to put a diesel in it and then was shot down. And then they developed that whole platform for it that now
Right.
outperforms a diesel to an extent. I mean, diesels are very customizable, but I mean, straight out of the box, it's a very,
Yeah.
very good platform. And the fact that the Sequoia comes stock with that platform is absolutely crazy. I mean,
And we do need to state that again. The Sequoia only comes with the
right.
hybrid, does
Only
not
the
come with
hybrid.
the non-hybrid version,
Correct.
just so people are well informed. Let's see what
Yeah.
else we have here. Interior photos. Oh, we've already seen that one.
Very snappy
And there you go.
screen.
There's your rear controls.
Yeah. And yeah, and
So
then people were asking too, is there TVs in this? Are they going to have options for the back seat? Very, very, very early production, so we don't know. They didn't
right.
show any of it in the press photos or talk about it really. So I mean, I'm sure it may be an option, but
But
I mean,
I don't know. Is in 2022, is it a thing to have TVs in the back headrest? I mean, we had those for DVDs, and I had to go buy
yeah,
DVDs
right.
just to play. And
I mean,
yes,
really now it's just if you have an inverter in the car, that's nice, and then an HDMI, and people may bring their Xboxes, their consoles, but
oh, I didn't think about that.
I
Yeah,
mean, to me, kids now they have an iPad. So I feel
right.
like each kid would have an iPad or some sort of their own entertainment in the back. I I
So
personally think TVs for SUVs are a little obsolete and just kind of bulky
yeah,
in the way, in my opinion.
we maybe they just need to have an OEM iPad holder in the back of the
Oh, that'd be
headrest,
cool. Yeah, one that just
with a
kind of
little power,
snaps to it or something.
right,
Yeah.
and then a little power module there to keep it powered. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just
Well, there's some
spitballing.
competitors. I think Dodge has it in their trucks or their SUVs at least, and they have USB chargers on the side of the seat, like the side of the front
There you
seat. I
go.
think just for
Yep.
that, like if you put an iPad up there, you can just plug it right in.
That would be perfect. I'm
Yeah.
just seeing, I don't see any comments on, nobody's asking any questions on there yet, so that's fine. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything. I think we've covered all of the things that we know
Mhm.
about the truck. And I'm just going to look here real quick. I think the TRD Pro, they didn't have a ton of interior pictures because it's all
No.
pretty much just the same. I mean,
Yeah.
the TRD badging looks nice.
Yeah.
You
I
if you
like
need
that
to, if you
heritage
need
up
to
above
relax.
the glove box too. Just how it says Toyota there in
I do.
heritage style. I really like that.
Yep. And again, that's something that I've seen in 14 years of doing this. I've seen that in enthusiast trucks quite a
Mhm.
bit. And so if you think Toyota doesn't listen, they do listen, and they do things that they are able to do that align with market goals and, and giant corporation goals. But those types of little touches are certainly things that I think have come from the community. So something exciting to think of. Well, cool. I don't know if there's a whole lot more we can say about the Tundra. Let's see. The only other thing, I think I minimized all my stuff. Hold on, give me a second here. Let's see if I can find it. No, did I kill that? There it is. All right, so there's the Sequoia overview. Again, TRD Jon's channel. And then if you want to read and know everything that we know, hit the Toyota Newsroom website. There's the full press release. They've got their full video. Jon has a bunch of videos up already. We have 2 articles up on our site. We've got the initial article and a capstone article so far, and there will be more coming. As soon as we know more, everybody else will know more. And, and overall, I just have to say it again. This is the most excited I've been about a Toyota vehicle since the FJ Cruiser.
Really?
And when the FJ Cruiser came out, I was not really an enthusiast. Like I had Jeeps. Shh, don't tell. I had Jeeps before the FJ. And so even when the FJ launched, I knew about it and I liked it, but I was not a Toyota guy yet.
Really?
So since we've been doing TCT magazine, I would say that this is the most exciting thing we've seen. As much as I love the new Tundra.
Yeah, the new Tundra is great, but you have to be in the market for a truck. And this, by it towing 9,000 pounds or allegedly 9,500 with the 2-wheel drive model. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're an SUV person and you have family, I mean, this truck for most people is gonna be perfect. I mean, there's so much positive. The fact that the last generation Sequoia was 15 years old and people said, oh, they're still selling this thing. Like people thought it was dead. And now it's taken the internet by storm, means that it's a pretty serious truck coming out.
Yeah, it's hitting the mark in a lot of ways. I think it mixes capability with, like, let's face it, if you're ready to get out of the minivan market, going to this 7 or 8 passenger, no, it's not going to be exactly like a minivan, but you're also going to be able to make that right turn, hit dirt, and go explore.
Right.
Even in the Capstone, like you can take the Capstone Explorer.
Yeah, you could.
It's all the same, right? Styling is different, but this is ready to make its mark. The Toyota marketing is not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, and you can tow your boat on the weekend. You can tow a camper. You can't do that with a minivan. Unless it's a very small one, which is perfectly fine. But I mean, if you have 5 kids, you're not going to have a small little bass boat. You're going to have a nice big boat. So,
right. And at 9,000 pounds, you can tow a pretty nice boat.
Oh yeah.
And a pretty nice, even our, I'll just say this as we wrap up here. We had a 24-foot RV, a travel trailer that we had for 5 or 6 years. First towed it with a Tundra. It was great. Swapped out that Tundra for a GX and had that GX for about 2 years. And I towed that trailer maybe 2 or 3 times. And while the trailer did not exceed the 66,065, whatever it was on that Sequoia, or on that GX, it just didn't feel right towing it. Like it was a 24-foot and it was just a little on the heavy side. Now you bring the Sequoia in with a 9,000 plus capacity.
Right.
And I don't think I'd have a problem at all towing a 6,000, 6,500 pound.
Yeah. Even trailer. Especially too, because this has a wider track than your GX too. Because of the GX, is
full size.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, tons of benefits. And especially if one day too, I mean, you may not buy it for off-road and XL version, but a longer wheelbase would be nice for towing too. So yeah,
it would. And I guess we should mention that you can get the adjustable rear suspension airbag from the factory on this as well, depending on your packages. Probably not on TRD Pro. I haven't seen that for sure yet. So yeah, like this just hits the mark for so many people in so many different ways that I can't say that I'm surprised that it's blowing up like it is. I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, you're excited about it. The world's excited about it. Jon, thanks for spending some time tonight just to talk through this. And
yeah, man,
and
it was awesome.
Get more info out there. Yeah. I'm excited to hopefully we'll get to drive it at some point. And,
I know.
do it
Hopefully,
all again.
hopefully a couple months from now. Because when was the Tundra first drive? The Tundra first drive was what, August of last year? No, I think it was like October. I can't remember. And then they started releasing them a couple months later. So I mean, hopefully we can drive this thing around June, July, or maybe a little earlier. That'd be nice.
There it is. Yeah, I would say by June, July, we should be able to see it. So just so
Yeah.
that people see that this is the TCT site, we've got our first couple of articles up. And you
Yeah.
can always just click on the Sequoia button there and see all the latest Sequoia or whatever Toyota you're interested in. But yeah, it's been great. Thanks everybody that has joined us live, and for everybody that'll see this later, hit us up in comments, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to John's channel, and we look forward to seeing everybody down the road and learning more about the new Sequoia. Thanks for your time. Thanks again,
super
John.
pumped. Yeah, thanks, man, for having me. See you later, guys.
All right. See you. I don't know how to stop.